Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play the action game by following each of the 8 rules. Let's get it on. 1, you have to use this action clock, which starts every hour and half hour. Some people get confused. They're looking for the button that starts the timer, but it's actually not a timer, it's a clock, and this is fundamental. You can only start an action on the hour or on the half hour. This restricts your choice and actually makes it much more likely that you will start. Rule number 2 is focus for exactly 25 minutes, not a second more, not a second less. So that means that if it's 10 o'clock and 3 seconds and you're just then sitting down to do an action, you've missed it. So there's no fudging, no guesswork. You know that you've actually worked for exactly 25 minutes. Also, if you get almost done with a time, and so say you've completed what you needed to do. Say you were working on your email and you still have 3 or 4 minutes left. You filled out the form and everything. Well, what you need to do is keep the same focus. So if your focus was email, maybe you can go through your labels and delete some of the labels that you're not using anymore. Maybe you can think there's this email that I needed to send, but do something that's related to the focus that you have chosen for the full 25 minutes, even if your task, which is different from the action, is over. 3, only one focus. Choose it at the start, do not change it. So when you look to your right, it says before. Those are the fields that you fill out at the very beginning of your action. So it's important to choose your focus right at the beginning so there's no guesswork. And then you may be distracted, but you need to actually stay exactly on the one thing that you chose to do. 4, no interruptions. This is really hard. A lot of times in our lives, the phone rings, somebody comes in and asks us a question. You have to actually create a sacred container for your attention for those 25 minutes. That means you do not answer questions. Even if the question is, what do you want for lunch? The only answer you can give is, I'm working right now. I can talk to you in about 25 minutes. And if you can do that, if you can deflect the interruption, you're welcome to continue. Otherwise, you've missed your action, which no big deal. You just tried and you didn't succeed this time. You can start next time. There's an action. You can take the rest of the time off. Rule number 5 is no distractions. So a lot of times you may think of something else. Now, if it's something useful, just write it down with a piece of paper. Have a piece of paper handy. If it's not useful, just recover and go back to your chosen focus. And if you can come back in 10 seconds, then keep going. If you spend more than 10 seconds, the way that I get distracted is usually I open up a new browser and I go to Facebook or the sports page. And when I was first new with actions, I would do that, and I would catch myself and close it right away. And as long as you can do that in 10 seconds, you can continue. Rule number 6 is audible ticking. So you should have something like this. And some people are resistant to the ticking sound at the beginning, but eventually they grow to love it. To me, the ticking tells me that I'm working, I'm focusing. And what that does is the rest of my life, when I don't hear ticking, I can really enjoy it. It feels like time off, whereas before it never felt like time off because I was fuzzy about whether I'm working or not. So the ticking will actually be a blessing, and most people, after they've practiced actions for a week or so, they begin to love it. Rule number 7 is keep score. So this is really important. There's no such thing as I did an action and it's not on the scoreboard. An action has to be tracked. So you have the form to the right where you can answer a few questions, and that goes on a scoreboard. So it's a public scoreboard so people can see it. As you progress through the Playfully Productive system, you'll have your own tracker, so you'll be able to look at all your actions and see what you did. And the final and perhaps the most important rule of the action game is that you have to take a 5-minute break. So what allows me to work really hard and effectively for 25 minutes is that I take a really awesome 5-minute break, and I listed some ideas for what to do, like listen to music, dance, stretch, just lie down or do qigong or meditate or do push-ups or jumping jacks or socialize or dance. Those are really important. Take care of yourself. And I have actually found that by spending those 5 minutes every half hour, by thinking like, what can I do that would feel good, that's actually impacted the rest of my life, and I take better care of myself, even when I'm not doing actions. So those are the 8 rules of the action game. I encourage you to take them really seriously. It's like any game, there's a serious element to it, like there are rules and you follow them, and there's a playful, creative aspect. So I encourage you to really stick to them. And when you fill out the form to the right, there's a question: did you complete this action, with multiple no answers? So I encourage you to just answer that if you were not able to follow them. So good luck with the action game. Have fun with your level 1 tracker, and as you move on, once you've completed 3 actions, there are more levels and challenges up ahead. Have fun, happy actions.